part. I love this part. It's so much fun.
What's this part? The
this
beginning
part?
part?
It's the anticipation of talking to you.
Oh,
The anticipation knowing that we're going to chit chat.
Because what did your friends in Florida call me all those years ago? Because I'm delightful.
You are.
Remember when they said, you can bring her down here to visit us anytime in Florida. Just don't leave her here.
Well, and I think we've talked about the fact that you won't be there in July. And
I think that's January only. I've actually made my reservations with my sister-in-law, like pencil me in for next January for my little Florida gig.
Oh, did I tell you? So speaking of our Florida friends, off topic real quick. Our Florida friends, Sean and Sue, who ended up in, where were they? In Kansas City, are now going to Denver.
Oh, well, then we know extra people in Denver because
we have more people in Denver.
Susan's in Denver.
Susan's in Denver. I know we saw that post. I kind of missed that weekend. That was a really great weekend.
Andy Frasco's in Denver.
He is. Maybe we can go see Andy Frasco.
Who doesn't want to see Andy Frasco every day?
Made some sort of music video recently that looked a little risque. It looked a little adult oriented. I don't know if you saw the behind.
No, he released a new song that looked really fun.
But hey, did you get that article I sent you on, like, they're going to bring back the woolly mammoths and they're going to like DNA, mix up their DNA and some sort of Jurassic Park them thing, and we're going to have them roaming on the streets?
Well, I'm excited, but I also have concerns.
I have concerns as well.
Well, because everyone's seen Jurassic Park, so everyone should be concerned when they start like making stuff that doesn't live on the planet anymore. But
that never ends well. That Jurassic Park, not one single one of them.
There's it's Hollywood endings to a degree, but yeah, so the guy, so this is all being done by this interesting company called Colossal, like the biggest thing we can possibly make, Colossal Biosciences in Dallas, which is not that far from you. It's in the Deep Ellum neighborhood.
Oh, it's near Goulash.
It's near your Goulash. So I expect you to make some contacts down there. So the man that they were talking to is one of the I'm sure he's a scientist also, but he's kind of the spokes dude. And he said that we are less than 5 years from having mammoths back on the planet. And he said it was not a question.
Did we miss them that much?
Well, they've been gone a long time. I mean, prior to modern man, shall we say. And this, the one like statement that he made that was the most disturbing to me was it's not a question of if we will get them back. It's just a function of time. No, because regular people aren't running around splicing the DNA to make extinct species. Like y'all are doing this in Texas because bigger is better. And I'm not sure why we're starting with, a super large land mammal, but they thought.
Are they going to send him over to Fossil Rim? I mean, where is he going to live? Because I can't imagine the mammoths living in Deep Ellum. I mean, it's artsy.
I can't imagine them living in Texas. You understand, their woolly mammoths are covered with very thick fur because they lived on glaciers where it's cold. They're going to be too hot in Texas.
That is a good point. Do you think they're doing this so that we can have woolly mammoth sweaters?
No, I don't think that. So basically their whole plan is that there's some sort of like splicing and gene writing. So the DNA of the modern Asian elephant is the closest genetic match at 99.6% similarities with their DNA. One of the other things they mentioned that I found very disturbing. So I was thinking, this is, they're gonna like IVF it into an Asian elephant, and the Asian elephant would bring the baby mammoth to fruition, like surrogacy.
So we won't IVF children anymore. We'll just IVF woolly mammoths.
Well, I assumed that was their master plan. And then the guy said, we've developed an artificial womb. And I was like, wait a minute.
Whoa.
Right.
Explain, please.
I don't know. That was literally like the only information. So I'm not sure if this is like, the sci-fi movies where there's like a big, like,
A sack of a womb or something, like a whole warehouse-sized womb or something.
oh, who's that fish guy that lives in the water in Hellboy? Like that. Abe.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Or, so, and then they interviewed this other fabulous guy from, I think it was University of Buffalo, and said, well, this isn't really
because that's
going
appropriate because buffaloes are about as close as you're going to probably get to the woolly mammoth.
they're really not even similar.
No. Not even in the same family. No,
not at all.
This is why I learned from you.
But it wouldn't really be a mammoth because it's a modern version, because they're taking woolly mammoth DNA that they've gotten from like frozen carcasses and whatever that they found. So it wouldn't be, real. I mean, they're gonna make them. And
what kind of a name are we gonna have for them other than a mammoth? Then?
Well, I mean, they'll still call them that, but I mean, it's kind of like
Mammoth 2.0.
Yes, because it can't be genetically identical to the real ones that are extinct, and you have to come back to the great line from Dr. Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could do it, they didn't stop to think if they should do it. And my concern, I still don't understand why we're starting with mammoths. It seems like such a strange place to start this research.
If they could bring back Carl first.
Well, that's an individual. It's not an extinct species. So a woolly mammoth, if you put a woolly mammoth anywhere today, it's an invasive species. I mean, they do not currently live in the world. They've been extinct for 4,000 years. Not like...
It could be like an Encino Man. I mean, they're going to be very confused. If I can make an obscure...
Well, I mean, who doesn't know Encino Man? Best movie ever. Pauly Shore, Brendan Fraser. I mean, come on. So, but does it make sense to bring back something that's been gone that long? And behavior-wise, who teaches the woolly mammoth how to do woolly mammoth things? Because he's not going to have a mom or a dad to show him how to do things. I mean, mammoths...
So it's a bastard mammoth.
Well, he's just... Who's going to... But, I mean, he doesn't even have adoptive parents. He doesn't have parents. They're going to make him in an artificial womb, okay? First of all.
Would you adopt him? You've got 5 acres.
I don't think he'd be comfortable here. They don't really like swamp. I mean, they largely went extinct due to climate change, and how that affected their food sources, because it was, they primarily ate grasses and things like that. And when the ice melted, it made their food soggy, honest to God. And that's why they died. And people hunted them. I mean, like Neanderthal man hunted them and stuff.
What's wrong with soggy food? I mean...
apparently they're not into it. I think they're more into like dry grass, like cows, because they're kind of ruminants. And
I mean, everybody loves a good bowl of Quaker Oats, or like a soup, or a good stew is good.
Woolly mammoths have no natural enemy. They were literally the biggest thing out there. So
they will now. It'll be us.
Well, so I mean, Pete, Neanderthal man, hunted them. I don't think they did it very often. And it also implied that juveniles or weakened adults could have been hunted by pack animals like wolves or big cats. And then I also like they included as a possible predator, cave hyenas, which now I need to really look into cave hyenas because they sound awesome. I mean, the only apex predator that would be like in an Arctic kind of situation would be a polar bear, which did not actually exist at the same time as mammoths.
They're primarily in zoos now.
Polar bear, well, we have them. I mean, but the polar bears were already vulnerable due to shrinking habitat, changing climates. So why are we going to put other large mammals into an ecosystem that's already stressed?
And what I mean. Think of the confusion. Suddenly you come out of this, whatever this womb's going to look like, and you walk out in a deep
mommy. It doesn't look like
you
the
walk
mama
out in a
mammoth.
deep ellum. You like crunchy food, and there'll be humans there. They tend to be a little crunchy.
They are not
And
carnivorous, to be clear. They're elephant-like. They eat plants. They do not eat
I've been in
people.
deep ellum many times. Not a lot of plants. It's a lot of bricks. It's a lot of bricks in deep ellum.
I hope they have a big yard because that mammoth's gonna like make a lot of poop. They're gonna have to take them out, walk them to go poo.
Think of all the methane from that poop.
I know. So
This could add to the climate change issues.
it could. But the science, I like the science behind it. Do I believe that we should make woolly mammoths because we can? I do not. Would it be cool? Sort of. I do, however, support their premise to bring back things that have been extinct for less time that would be more appropriate. So they are also
like
running
the pigeons we talked about before.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think the pigeons are on their radar right now because I don't know. But they are actually they're doing work on the dodo bird, which is actually. Are you aware of what a dodo bird is?
It's a big dodo.
Okay, they're a very large bird. They stand like 3 feet tall. They've been extinct since like the mid 1600s. On the island of Mauritius. And their primary reason for extinction was introduction of predatory species brought to the island by, wait for it, humans.
No,
so
you
they,
don't say.
Yeah, so they brought, because this is, Mauritius is a little teeny tiny island that's kind of to the east of.
Smaller than New Jersey?
It looks a lot smaller than New Jersey on the map. It's to the east of Madagascar. So like it had a very closed ecosystem. And when explorers and stuff were coming over, they brought rats. Apparently monkeys came over, things that ate the dodo's eggs. So they didn't necessarily kill the dodos because they're good size, but they're flightless birds.
Scrambled eggs, omelets.
They just ate eggs.
Did they have them on avocado toast? I mean,
no. Most predatory mammals are just eating it raw, straight out the shell.
Ew.
So the dodo bird seems cool, and I think that reintroduction wise, that would be a pretty safe option, more Jurassic Parky. Like we're gonna make some of these birds, drop them on an island, see how they do. So you got a more controlled situation.
It could be a cruise ship stop, and people can go see them.
I don't know that you can have cruise ships down there, but I mean, I'm sure there's not a port big enough to do that. But the third thing that they are working on,
oh boy,
is why. There's a third. They have
the
three
first
major
two
projects.
aren't moonshots to begin with. The first two aren't moonshots, so they got to go big or go home.
So I mean, you have to remember too. The dodo bird's been extinct like 300 plus years, so he's been gone a bit, and they have to find animals that are genetically similar in order to splice the genes and everything. But the third project is the one that I'm excited about, and I didn't realize anyone as excited about this species as me. Is called the Thylacine. Thylacine with a C.
That actually sounds like an illegal drug.
It does sound a little bit like that. Otherwise known as, the more common names are the Tasmanian wolf or the Tasmanian tiger, which are an apex predator from Australia. They have been one of my favorite mammals since forever, because no one knows what they are, and you can like start talking about them. People go, what the hell are you talking about?
Gavin knows what they are. He's from Australia.
Maybe if he's Australian, he might know the history of it. So essentially they're like a marsupial wolf. So they have pouches and they have the baby puppies go in a pouch. Yes.
So are they making a synthetic pouch to make this thing in?
I'm not sure how that's all work. They're still working on the splicing for that. So they were considered to be a pest animal to the settlers of Australia. They offered bounties on them, and that escalated the extinction process, obviously, because they occasionally would take Just like wolves in North America, they would take livestock. But the people who were like, oh, well, we need to get rid of these, just like, wolves were almost hunted to extinction in the US. The last wild thylacine was killed between 1910 and 1920. So these have only been gone 100 years. So replacing something that's been gone 100 years seems less of a moonshot than something that's been gone 4,000 years. I mean, the environment still exists. In July 1936, the Australian government granted the species protection, but the shift of the public opinion and conservation awareness came too late because the last captive thylacine died in September of 1936. 2 months after they said, we're going to protect these. Dude, there's like one dude.
Was its name Martha?
I believe it was male. They actually, someone just recently kind of recreated, or they enhanced a film of one like pacing in his cage. They did not have good lives. I mean, zoo stuff at the beginning of the 1900s was not fabulous. But they said that the thylacines give birth to babies that are not much bigger than a grain of rice. So growing an embryo in a test tube or through a surrogate is much less challenging for a marsupial than for a mammoth or a larger animal. So it seems like this should be easier. And if they make a thylacine, I will move into their building. I will literally offer to babysit it nonstop.
Do you want to have them give you a pouch so that you can carry it?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to do. Well, they figured out which animal they need to splice with it, which is like a little rat kind of guy who's also a marsupial, but he's the best match because unfortunately there was one other thing that was a better match. It's all also extinct, so that was a problem.
I'm stunned.
And I mean, and I think the science behind it is great. So, to help animals that are like on the brink of extinction, like the northern white rhinos, that we have 2 of them left in the world. 2.
Why aren't we replicating them as quickly as possible? Keep them here.
Well, the northern white rhinos, they're working on. They're doing. I saw an article not long ago. They're doing a lot of surrogacy stuff with the southern white rhinos because they are very similar. Obviously, they're just north and south white rhinos, and they have a lot of genetic material that was saved from the few individuals that were left. So the last male died a few years ago, I think, and now there's 2 females left who are too old or not able to carry a pregnancy. But they're trying to rush the rhino projects right now, and they're going to have southern white rhinos surrogate and carry the little guys. But they want them born before the 2 that are left pass so that they can teach them behavior. So I think that's the key to it. So that's the thing, that we're bringing back things that are extinct where there's no other animal, there's no mommy and daddy to teach them how to be that animal. So you're creating a plastic shell of an animal that won't know how to act because you don't have anything to teach it how to.
Well, if they enroll in finishing school, that should solve a couple of those problems.
That should solve the problem. So, I mean,
if it goes to higher education, I mean, you never know. This woolly mammoth could learn to speak. But there's going to be somebody who just wants to have a woolly mammoth burger, right? Some J-hole want to do that. And it just seems
people
like...
don't eat elephant.
Do they? Do they not?
No, they don't. Even no,
and why do they kill so many of them?
Trophy hunting, tusks, ivory.
I hate that. I hate that. Ugh.
So I mean that's what killed elephants. I mean, people aren't out there. We're starving to death. I think we'll go kill an elephant. Like, there's easier ways to get a burger.
And I think it would freak the woolly mammoth out, because when cavemen or Neanderthals or whoever they were at the time tried to kill them, they used what? Sticks. Now you just get some spears. Guy and sticks and spears, right, and rocks. Now you'd get some guy with an AK-47 and just mow one down for sport. Well,
I mean, that's why things are extinct now, because people
Because they
like
killed all
to-
those birds. See, we need to bring back Martha.
I mean, at least they were eating those. I mean, I feel better that they were killing them to eat them when things are being killed just for the sake of being killed. I find that to be, I mean, less problematic. I mean,
I'm getting verklempt. I'm gonna tear up soon. This is really upsetting. I mean, it's just ridiculous that I don't know. Do we really need, like, I don't know. Let's just make better. Can we work on making better humans? I mean, that would be great. Just nicer, better humans.
I'm just hoping that, you know, if they're making them down in Texas, they're not going to birth Republican extinction animals.
I can't. I mean, will the woolly mammoth be a Republican? I can't. That's, you know.
Ooh, but it's shaped like an elephant.
God, you're always right.
I have a point.
You always have a point. So
there's always a back door into that weirdness where it's like,
you went there and you stretched and you reached, you got the ball in the hoop for sure.
But
will they have one at your event? Will Jeff, your future husband, have one at the adventure park? That's his name, right, Jeff?
Jeff, he does not have elephants.
Maybe he wants a mammoth.
I don't think they're going to be fit to, like, keeping captive. I don't know how they're going. Like I said, I really think honestly, I know it's all scientists. It's in Texas, so I feel like we're doing go big or go home. Let's make a woolly mammoth first, then we'll try some smaller shit. Like,
we'll work on it.
Like, why couldn't you pick like an extinct mouse? Like, why? I mean, it just seems like you could do, like, even the thylacine. It's only been extinct 100 years, and 100 years ish. You can create an embryo in a test tube legitimately because that's the size of the embryo, and then figure that out. Let's start there and see if it works. Plus, that's the one I want them to make. So obviously, that's the priority animal.
Right. Should revolve around that one.
I mean, or the dodo bird. Okay, making an artificial egg to feed that makes sense to me. To have an artificial womb or even a surrogate into an Asian elephant, their closest DNA relative. Why are we starting so big? Why? I appreciate the concept behind it. However, who needs a mammoth? Do you think Canada is like, dude, send us some of those when you get them done? Because we got all this ice up here and we have no giant mammal to walk on it. I mean,
yeah, but that'd be a lot of Tim Hortons for a mammoth to eat.
They're not going to eat that.
Hortons?
No.
They don't. What? They don't like donuts?
I'm sure they don't like donuts.
Muffins are kind of mushy. You said they eat mushy things.
No, they like dry grass.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They're herbivores. Right.
I am sure there are people who are going to correct us in the comments on this, because there are people who go out on the interwebs and figure this stuff out. I mean, there are definitely, look, we are intelligent, but are we smart enough? If we were, we'd be doing this ourselves.
Had I known that this was on the horizon, I would have gone to school so that I could be down there making thylacines and be moving this along, because a thylacine should be a priority.
When we were in college, it was like, do you want to take chemistry?
Well, I mean, I took all that stuff when I was in high school and I was decent at it. I just chose not to do that. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of math involved with meshing the DNA of extinct species and living species, but.
All right. So what have we learned today? We learned that thylacine, did I get it right?
Thylacine,
which is not a narcotic, can be made in a test tube because they're teeny tiny.
They're very tiny. Because they're marsupials.
And they're from Australia. Or you can move up the food chain and make yourself a dodo. But instead, because we're in Texas, we're going to go big or go home, because Texas needs a mammoth. for God knows what reason.
Is there
We
a
learned
school
that.
in Texas that has that as a mascot? Maybe that's their impetus behind there. But
No, I think like in Minnesota maybe, which would make more sense. But so they're gonna splice some DNA and make some things that could kill us. Which
5
is,
years. No, the mammoth is not going to kill anyone. Again, he is an herbivore.
Step
He's
on
a
somebody.
peace loving, hippie, fuzzy elephant.
Could step on somebody.
Well,
now you said now look, I don't even have time to go down.
I don't understand.
What would happen if they put them in the circus? Can they be trained? I don't even want to go there because I don't want to see that. I think it's disrespectful to the mammoths. We shouldn't monkey with some of this stuff. Just because you can do it doesn't always mean you should do it.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
It's like Evel Knievel jumping across the Snake River Canyon. Yeah, he could had things gone right. He tried it, but was it the wisest move? I think the jury might still be out. All these years later. So, and
did you learn anything?
Yes, I learned that I'm going to be scared of these things running around. Is that woolly mammoth in your home? I hear woolly mammoth.
Perhaps the dog saw a woolly mammoth out the window. I'm not sure.
A woolly mammoth Amazon truck.
It's
yes, I have learned a lot. My mind is blown.
Processing.
Topics for down the road, and now that we've had a bunch of these videos, like, please share your topics. Please like the videos. Please subscribe, because they're just going to get weirder and weirder without your participation.
It's possible.
You never know where we're going to go with this. So
could be anything.
It could be. I don't know.
Or I could be extinct. We don't know.
We could be stepped on by a woolly mammoth. And on that note,